Okay. Anything else, Sarah?
No, that's just about it. What are you doing, Gerald?
You mean what you doing, Gerald?
What are you doing?
You've been
Gerald?
on this podcast too many times to get it wrong, Sarah.
Right. So other than seeing that movie, got a couple things. Game came out, guys.
Oh,
that is
here we
taking
go.
over
Yeah, it is.
the world.
Jeez,
His
Louise.
life.
Taking over my life and my battery life.
And our marriage.
Yeah.
And it is called,
Pokemon Go.
or as we call it, Poke Mango.
As you call
Pokemango.
it.
Pokemango.
You don't know, David.
I downloaded it, but okay, first of all, if you are not into gaming, what the hell is this?
All right. Pokemon Go is a mobile game for Android and iOS.
Yes.
It's like, think of, if you're familiar with Ingress.
No one is familiar with Ingress.
Which is a game that came out by Niantic Labs, same company. But it's a geolocation or geo multiplayer game.
So tell people what the main gameplay is. Well, if you don't know, you're catching them all.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
geocaching, kind of similar to that. But yeah, you catch Pokemon. You go out in the real world, people. This isn't something you sit on the couch and play. You have to go out. That's the name. Go outside, nerds. I had to do the same thing. It's super hot outside. But you go out and Pokemon pop out in the world and you level up the more you catch, and obviously you want to fill up your Pokedex just like any other Pokemon game.
Like a good trainer.
Yeah, by the way, these are first gen Pokemon in this game.
Yes. So they can
the best generation, the first generation.
OG.
Yeah. And you go out in the world and you catch a Pokemon and they're rated by their CP, which is their combat power.
Okay.
Think of like leveling in the regular game.
Yes.
And obviously more powerful or more difficult to catch. You go on the real world and catch these.
Now this is pretty cool because it literally, when you see the screen, like the map of where you are, it's literally a Google map. It's a Google map of where you're at.
Time.
And as you walk around, your little character literally moves around like in real world. Mm-hmm. So and then the Pokemon are, you'll see them kind of, you can kind of zoom out a little bit, but not like, maybe like half a mile away from you. Mm-hmm. And you can spin around 360 and you can see where Pokemon are available to either catch, or there might be a gym.
Well, what you see
there,
there's gyms and then Pokestops. And Pokestops are places where you can, and they refresh every 5 minutes, where you go, you spin this little wheel, and you get things. So you get stuff like Pokeballs, potions, eggs, where you can hatch into get other Pokemon.
But when you say you have to go, you physically, in the actual real world, have to go to that location. Yep. Like I was at work when I downloaded it on my lunch.
Right. Okay.
And then I was like, okay, I did. They give you one off the bat.
Starter you get. Yeah. What starter did you pick?
I picked Charizard or Charmander.
Charmander, good choice.
Yeah, I picked Charmander.
Obvious choice.
And then I work next to a hospital, so it was like all these Pokemon were next to this hospital, or because they have like all these like statues and like artwork that are out in front of them.
The Pokestops and gyms are more located around landmarks, like you said, hospitals, statues, fountains, parks, things like that. But the more dense the population is, the more random Pokemon you're going to find. You can't really see where the Pokemon are on your map until they're within a certain radius.
Yeah, like I said, probably about like half a mile.
Yeah, and there are, just like in the game, grassy areas that pop up randomly on the map. If you walk to those areas, there's a higher chance of getting a Pokemon. Which is cool.
Basically what they did is they took Pokemon and they added GPS functionality.
Almost like geocaching. Yeah, geocaching and Pokemon put together.
Yeah, and geocaching is what that other game that you said, what is it called? The company that made the other, it's called...
Ingress is almost exactly like Pokemon, just a skin over it.
Right, but I'm saying it was all based off of this original idea called geocaching, which is people would put like a
little box with paper and sometimes little trinkets and stuff.
Yeah, and it was like they'd give you longitude and latitude, and then you would go to that and you would like look for it, and then you would cache
secret clues to find, where exactly it's at. Write your little name
buried treasure in the real world.
Exactly.
In 21st century.
Scavenger hunt.
Yeah. See, this is what I love about it. So yesterday, of course, during our date night, this is what we did. So
on our way back from after we saw the
This is how I know you're perfect for him, Sarah, because you actually didn't say, no, we're not doing that. And you're like, okay, fine.
Well, that's the movie where Aliante Station and the big sign is a Pokestop.
Yeah.
So we go there, I'm like, babe, just park right here, I got caught an Abra. And then spin the thing, got the thing, and you see these, there are 2 or 3 guys looking at their phones.
There's quite a few guys. Like this is what I love. So I noticed ever since he's like pointed this out to me, and like I've kind of like recognized it a little bit. You see all these like pasty white nerds coming out of like
eyes.
Like their eyes are glued to their phones, but you see them like wandering around. It's a very strange thing.
It's cool.
It is really cool. Now
I think it's awesome.
What's cool, I think, is actually pretty cool about it is certain things require you to actually walk. If you go over, if the game will recognize if you're going too fast, like you're in a car.
Yeah, and Sarah drove me around because we're trying to hatch some eggs, all right?
But based off of how much distance you are, you get things to happen, like you hatch eggs to grow more Pokemon, and you get certain benefits by literally walking. Like the game is literally encouraging kids to get the hell off the couch and walk around. And there's probably only like a few IP video games that will literally make kids do that, and Pokemon is almost at the top.
Definitely one of them. Yeah. And even like the first day I downloaded this game after work, I'm like, man, it's 102 degrees outside, but I gotta check out this game. So I'm walking around my neighborhood on my phone. There was this spot by a little park that's in our neighborhood that had a grassy area in this guy's driveway. So I'm like wandering this driveway, like, I'm like, hope no one sees me.
Yeah. So yesterday, I get home and we're supposed to go to this movie, and so I get to the house and he's not home. So I call him and I'm like, where are you?
My babe. The Cane's restaurant down the street is a Pokestop. The guy added a lure, so Pokemon are coming here. I'm refreshing every 5 minutes and getting a bunch of Pokemon in front of the Cane's.
Yeah.
I'll be home in a second.
It's a new way to get your ass kicked. But it's awesome.
Just sitting in the parking lot, yeah. And then there's gyms, which, in the game are these big things where powerful people or powerful Pokemon, you could put there and you could battle them and take control of the gym. 3 different factions in the game.
Right.
Team Valor.
Yeah,
Preach.
That's you because it's red colored.
Of course.
But it's very fun. You see on the subreddit, a lot of people were just like, I went to this park. This is a guy who posted a video of everyone that's visiting this park. He's like, hey, are you playing Pokemon Go? And like everyone's freaking playing it of all ages and ethnicities, cool. And it's just everyone's glued to this game.
Well, we talked about Pokemon. They had their 20th anniversary, so they're fitting that real sweet spot of almost hitting every generation now. They've been around for so long. It's like Magic. Everybody plays Magic the Gathering. Everybody plays Pokemon. I mean, those two things kind of came up somewhat in the same time. I think Magic's maybe a little bit older. But it doesn't matter. My point is like, there's certain IPs that can do that. Magic might be one of them because of just the sheer audience that it has and the lore that it has. But Pokemon's been going on so long that there's so much they can do. Now,
it fits the world. It's the video game. Oh, right. So in the video games, to hatch eggs, right, you have to walk, just like in this Pokemon Go game. And in the game, you'd get your bike because you go faster, and you go down a straight area, right, back and forth, to hatch the egg. It's the easiest way. On Reddit, someone posted like, dude, I saw this guy on a bike down my street going back and forth trying to hatch its egg. It's the game in real life. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, there's like, it's grinding, but in the real world. Like, get on your stupid bike and go back and forth. Like, that's
to hatch your egg.
It's so like meta that it's like mind melding. Like, it's like, what? Like, we're actually going to do things that don't, but people might actually lose weight or do exercise. Like, it's not a bad idea.
Like I said, I went out and I told Sarah, like, I want to go on the strip. I don't say that.
Yeah, the strip here in Vegas.
We know we're from Vegas. I never say that unless we have company in town. I want to go because there are Pokestops everywhere in the Mandalay Bay. There's like 20 of them in one hotel.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're just going to not even look up once. You're just staring at your stupid phone.
Exactly.
How many people are going to walk into like the street now trying to get there?
I need an extended battery now on my phone because it's going to die.
So it's free to download.
It's free. They do have microtransactions, of course. It's like any of these free games where you can buy what's called lucky eggs, or you can buy more Pokeballs if you're really bad at catching, or potions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about it doesn't matter if the Nintendo Wii U doesn't do well anymore. This is all they really need.
Their stock raised 8.9% when this game came out.
That's impressive.
That is, for a game.
Yeah.
A single game, and it's going to go up more.
Now, technically, Nintendo, it was Niantic Labs and the Pokemon Company. Nintendo's name is not on this.
No, I know, but I think they have a controlling interest in the Pokemon Company.
Right, of course, but it's not like Nintendo released this game.
Agreed, but they're the ones that I'm sure they worked with them to some extent. But it's great for the Pokemon brand, and it's a huge thing. Now, you said it just got rolled out here just a few days ago, and then it was originally rolled out in New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah, that's where it started, New Zealand, Australia, and then now in the US. They stopped the rollout because during busy peak hours, they are having issues with the servers and stuff. That's anticipated, any kind of thing like this.
Yeah, while we were out today, you kept saying, like, at different times, you're like, oh, man, the servers are down.
I know, of course, right? We're in a freaking casino, man. But see, what else notes did I have? I
was going to ask you, so is there plans? Obviously, they're going to add more Pokemon eventually. But
yeah, it's very basic. Like, there's not a friends list, or you can't battle people directly other than through the gyms.
Right, that's what I was saying. I think the next step is trading. Trading Pokemon would be, like, amazing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Remember when you had to have those, like, connectors?
The cables, the cables between the Game Boy.
The Game Boy Link cable.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to have that. It's going to be awesome. It's a cool...
They'll add more generations, I'm sure.
Yeah, and like it was, for me, because I played it for like a second, and then I was like, I got the concept, and I'm not a huge fan of these games that have no end. You know what I mean? I like closure. I understand the draw of them. I think they're super cool. But just the simple fact that I was like, it's the real world, that blew my mind. And then I was like, this could get its claws in me. So I was like, turn off the phone. I know when it's like World of Warcraft. I never got into it because I was like, I know better. I know my own
it's gonna
self.
Be a time sink.
You're right. I know myself, and I know like I can't do that. I will literally lose like sleep. Family members will stop talking to me. I won't shower. It's like Skyrim is about the equivalent in Fallout. Like I stop eating and showering. Like that's not a good idea. And this one is like, at least this one's like get away from other people. Like go out in the world and walk around. It's just gonna be zombies. Like staring at our phone, walking around.
But at least they're staring at their phone outside.
Exactly.
So that's cool. But like some news stories that popped up, like someone found a dead body in a river.
That's hilarious to me.
So somebody was looking for a Pokemon, walking around, got to like a river or a ravine or a ditch, I'm guessing.
A river,
and then they found a dead body in the river.
Yeah.
Somebody on
Jeez,
the local Las Vegas Twitters that I follow, somebody mentioned, no, don't do this in North Las Vegas.
Yeah, probably not a good
Yeah, there's
idea.
some areas you can imagine. That's what I was saying. There's because the way that the Pokemon are generated as far as the areas, there's some areas that contributors can do, I guess you were saying, or is it just the company?
Well, like the Pokestops and the gyms are all community sourced from the previous game Ingress.
Right.
So it uses the same locations as those.
That's so genius because essentially what you're doing is you're creating, it's community created content. That's like the most wonderful thing you can do.
You don't have to do the work.
Exactly. And you've got a huge community. So this is only going to get bigger and bigger, and it'll have cooler and cooler stuff. And
it's already insane right now. Like I said, everyone's playing it. It's great. I recommend go checking it out.
Your sister's playing it a lot, right, Sarah?
Yeah, so this is the thing about Pokemans to me. Pokemans is I never got into it because I thought this was for kids because my little sister and
how dare you?
And my siblings, they were into it.
Yeah.
So I just assumed it was for little kids. So I never understood anything about Pokemon.
You were a little kid when it came out.
No, I wasn't.
96. How old were you?
96, I was 10. That is not a little kid.
She's an adult. She had a job.
Yeah.
Maybe because you're a girl. I was a kid at 10. How do you not consider yourself a kid at 10?
No, I have not been a kid since I was like 8 years old. Okay?
Anyways,
so I never like got into it, but I think this idea is really cool. Like that's genius. And yes, my sister she's really been doing some work on this.
I see on Facebook all the time she's posting.
She's doing way better than I am.
So, this is Nintendo's kind of, well, not Nintendo, but I mean, it's obviously Nintendo is the idea behind, everyone knows Pokemon's associated with Nintendo. This is kind of, a big stepping stone for them on mobile, right?
Well, people are always like, Nintendo, come out with a Mario game, come out with a Zelda game on your phone.
On your phone.
You're dumb not to do this. And since they came out with the
and I think
Miitomo game we talked about, that was their first mobile venture that we talked about previously a few months ago. They already have a Fire Emblem game coming out and an Animal Crossing game, which Animal Crossing probably fits this perfectly.
Yeah, anything that you can. It's one of those games where it's real quick, bite-sized gameplay where you could do it anywhere.
Easy for microtransactions. You make a crap ton of money off this.
Right.
But I can only imagine with the stock bump and all that stuff that this will only make them push for more
pressure on
which is amazing for
the
us
board of
fans.
directors to do it.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, I can understand their hesitation because their handheld market is doing very well. That's probably the only thing that's actually at this current stage keeping them.
Oh yeah, the 3DS does way better than the Wii U.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else other than?
Yeah, so I got that. Oh, weekly Overwatch news, guys.
Yes. Here we go.
Got a new shirt. That's it.
Okay.
If you're watching YouTube, you can see my cool shirt. It's got all 21 heroes.
There's some news. They said they teased a new character.
Oh, they did tease a new character.
On
a
Twitter.
Support sniper is what we're thinking.
Yeah.
So, like you could shoot healing things at people, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah. See, that's why the game's cool. It's gonna have that Ratchet and Clank like cool because they all have like weird
weapons
and stuff, and you can be fantastical about it. Exactly. That's super cool.
I'm not gonna stay.
I kept playing it. I like it. I still haven't played it probably as much as you and the crew have played, but it's
the crew.
It's fun, but it's I don't know. It's again, it's that double-edged sword. It's like going to Cheesecake Factory. There's too much to order. There's too many heroes, and then
at Cheesecake Factory, just like this game, you find 1, 2, or 3 good solid dishes.
Jambalaya.
The chicken marsala.
Pasta da Vinci.
Pasta da Vinci. Yeah, you go with that.
But you just find your 2 or 3 solid heroes and you just play with those 3 every time.
Yeah, but then that becomes kind of, that's the problem is like, I like the variety. It's an internal thing. I like variety, but I don't want too much variety. Yeah. It's like this super
Make
sweet.
it up your mind.
I know.
So other than that, let's see a couple of things I wanted to mention. SGDQ is going on.
Tell me, okay.
Right now, I think it actually ends by the time of the podcast.
Not everybody hangs out with you, buddy. What does that mean?
Yeah.
SGDQ stands for Summer Games Done Quick.
Okay.
It's an annual thing that happens every... Hey, don't
let me guess, is it on Steam?
No, this isn't a game.
Oh, this
is the stream, yeah. A bunch of people get together every year and stream a bunch of video games. And these are games from every single generation, every platform you can think of. And they speedrun these games. They do it all for Doctors Without Borders.
Right. They do another big one is it called Child's Play?
Yeah, Child's Play is another one.
That's another big one where a bunch of, like famous streamers, Twitch personalities, YouTube gaming personalities stream their gameplay.
Right.
And people watch it, and sometimes they're funny, but in this case, they're actually doing, like, they're trying to speedrun games.
Yeah, and they do this every year.
Usually it's like a marathon is usually the idea of
exactly. It's a
play,
whole week. I think it ends, it might end actually while this podcast comes out. But they always do it for Doctors Without Borders, and as of last night, they've raised $760,000.
That's awesome.
So a hair more than what we raised.
Stop it.
Just a hair more.
Just a hair more.
But, yeah, they're just a bunch of nerds playing video games
and
for
it's actually
a good
interesting
charity.
to watch. You told me when we were playing a game.
Yeah, last night, what time was it? Like 11 at night, they were doing an Ocarina glitchless run as quickly as possible, which is kind of cool. But then they did the glitch showcase after that to show all the cool glitches that are in the game.
That don't really help with like speed, they're just weird glitches.
Yeah,
right?
it's just unique stuff. That's just really cool that these guys have found out through hours and hours of playing these games. It's just crazy what kind of weird stuff they find.
I was watching a speed run of, I believe it was Elder Scrolls Morrowind, the third one.
Oh yeah, that was yesterday, right?
Yeah, and I was watching that and it was just like insane. Like he's like, grab the key here, move out. Okay. Then you drop the key, pick it back up. The guard doesn't see you. It doesn't matter. You can steal it. Yeah. And it's just because one guy's playing it, the other guy's commentating. So it's like
to concentrate.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. And like the way that they walk, they don't like walk normal. They walk like kind of. It's just weird. Like it's weird to watch. It's
like Zelda. You always do
backflips.
Rolls or backflips,
right? Because it moves just a little bit quicker.
Just a little, just to shave milliseconds off your record time. You know.
Yeah, and it's cool because you have. Remember we talked about when we always talk about speedruns. There's those moments where everyone in the room gets quiet because it's kind of a concentration. Then like everyone kind of picks.
And when they pull it off the glitch, everyone's gets all excited. Woo!
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun. It's like it's celebrating nerddom.
What?
Like
if it wasn't, I understand what you're thinking, but it's going for it's charity.
Yeah. That's the cool part.
Fine.
Yeah, that is the cool part.
And I know a bunch of famous streamers who aren't even on. Aren't participating are streaming it through theirs to just bring awareness to it. So it's really cool.
Lyric is the big streamer I watch, and he hosts SGDQ every year.
So very cool. So you're watching that. Anything else?
One last thing, David, you can probably chime in on this, but Halo Firefight came out last week.
Yes,
or a couple weeks ago.
Excellent.
And we played it. It's very cool. It's PvE. So if you're not a big fan of the PvP stuff because you're terrible like David,
hey, you're not that great either. We're neither of us are that great. I'm usually like a hair better than me, which is we're both at second to bottom and bottom.
Once they get going, give me a few games.
I know, sure.
I can't be
that's okay.
But anyway, yeah. So it's PvE. It's just like it's technically Firefight Warzone. So if you're familiar with the other Warzone modes, you can still use your Rex and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
But we're playing against AI. But it's very fun.
It's tough, man. Like,
yeah, I did mention it's some of it. I feel like we played a few games, right?
Yeah.
And the first one was like they only give you like a minute and a half for the last boss. And you're like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And you lose.
But it's time.
But the second game we played, we wiped the boss. Like it was super easy.
Yeah, I think you have to have a good balance of other good players too. Yeah. And then also I remember Firefight. It used to be like waves of difficulty, so it was like easy, medium, hard,
yeah,
hard,
this definitely
hard.
isn't as
this
long
is like
as the old ones used to be.
This is kind of like hard from the get-go. You can't go in and try to like, be Liam Neeson. You're going to get wrecked.
Oh, yeah,
You've got to work in kind of concert. You got to flank.
Yeah.
You've got to do certain things. But it's a ton of fun because of it's Halo, which I love, but it's that freedom of just constantly being, you're all working together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's so much more fun. I enjoy that.
You're still competing with each other in terms of the score and stuff.
Yeah.
And you get better prizes if you're higher. But yeah, we're all working together to defeat these bosses because regardless of how well you do, if you lose, everybody loses. You know what I mean?
Right. So. And it's like I said, it's a ton of fun. It's difficult. And I like the maps that they've made for this because they're unique, I think, to this particular.
They're kind of like old Warzone maps, other Warzone maps, but they're like pieced together kind of.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll be kind of the attacking party. You'll be the party that like something will be defended and you got to go and take it over. Or which I actually enjoy more is like the defending one.
You got to defend.
They're coming from all different waves. And you're like trying to run down the stairs. Like, no, can't go downstairs. Go upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh wait, can't go upstairs. We're screwed. It's just a lot of fun. You get all the vehicles and stuff too.
Like, I just spawned a Banshee and they're all inside. What the heck am I going to do with this thing?
It's so much fun. It's made Halo so much more fun, and the payout of like the rec system of getting points so you can buy better vehicles throughout that game seems like it's rewarding you to keep playing. I've always hated the games that are like, hey, they treat the gameplay as grinding, and you have to either be extremely good at it or you have to pay money to get like, I want to have fun.
Yeah.
So facilitate having fun, however that's required.
And after we played, the amount of rec packs that we got, I'm like, we got 3 rec packs. I mean, I did pretty well. I wasn't number 1. I got like 3 packs. There's been some rumors. They don't release official player counts, but that it's dropped a lot. So I'm almost thinking like maybe they adjusted that when Firefight came out. Like give you more packs to keep people playing.
Yeah, they should. I mean, it's just, let's have fun.
Yeah.
It's against the enemy, so it's like there's a competition, but it's just fun to like it's hard. It's not easy. Like you can, if you're good at Halo, you're probably not going to die that much. But if you're, if you get like 3 enemies on you, like good chance you're probably going to get taken out unless you're,
if you suck.
Jason Bourne.
But yeah, so other than that,
it's awesome. I really enjoyed the Halo Firefight.
Shit, David, what you doing?
Okay, so other than Halo Firefight, which I've enjoyed, this is how I know I enjoy it, because I play it even after you leave. I keep playing. Usually I'm like, if I'm not playing with
not
friends.
Not just that, but you want to keep playing after we talk about it on the show or something.
Yeah, exactly. A couple things. One thing that I did this week is we talked about this game or software. It's called Tabletopia. It's board games that are a digital version of it. Me and Gerald played a game that's not out. It was on Kickstarter. Went buku crazy. It's made by Stonemaier Games. It's called Scythe.